Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. This is perhaps a very long awaited, maybe not quite awaited, but very long due creation of Random Shapes. I believe this is episode 48. So as you can see, I'm changing August because this script was written several months ago. And for whatever reason, I just it fell on the back burner. So I'm changing it to November because right now in the beginning it said it's beginning to look like Christmas. That will stand. But Square's response is it's August, and Circle was saying, yeah, it's not even fall yet, and so that would just have been a play on an exaggerated expression of how certain holidays are merchandised so early, So, but of course, it is November the 4th, or November 4. And so I had to adjust that. Now, I am commentating this. I'll be completely upfront. I'm commentating this after the fact. So this is actually a few days removed from the creation of this panel, and you'll see that when I date it. So I just find that I work more cohesively if I'm not commentating the full time. I know some artists are able to do that, and truly kudos to them. And I have a limited time. It's not that I have like I'm streaming for an hour and a half, and time is not of the 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 essence, so to speak. I do have a short window of time. I want to keep videos at max 30 minutes. This one is 34, and because I just want to respect people's time. So anyway, so for you listening and taking the time, thanks. Be sure to check out patreon.com/Michelo Lully. There you can financially support me and what I do, and that'll be greatly appreciated. Or you can go to my YouTube, which is, well, just look for Michelo Lully because I'm not at the subscribe subscriber level to have a personalized URL. But if you go on YouTube, you type in Michelo Lully, you will find me. All right, so I'm starting off with Try, and I have made a comment on my Facebook post a few years ago, just to give some sort of character backdrop, and I should say background, but behind the shapes. So Try here is what I would call just the happy-go-lucky, free-spirited personality of the bunch. Square is the ever pragmatist. It's see things for what they are, and just more matter of fact in that sense. And Circle is your objective optimist, and so it's more of like a balance in between Try and Square. And so as I draw these, and you can see that before I used to do like a sketch layer, but I just wanted to do a comic that I can just go straight into the inks, utilize my time. You see me going back and forth because I want to make sure that I am still capturing the overall essence of each shape, and the challenge that I wanted is to simplify my work, but still make it expressive. And how can I do that and achieve, hopefully, the mannerisms and a a character expression that is easily observed and equally understood. And so I go back to the previous panel because sometimes some of the subject matter is a continuation of the previous episode. I don't think this is one of those, but I just go back because it's, I don't quite remember when I completed this. This, of course, is in one session, and that's what I like about Random Shapes. Once I have the script written, I can just knock it out in a single session. I occasionally go back to the script, so that way I'm pairing my my line work to reflect what the dialogue is saying. And as triangle is one of the is happy, just over the top, just really zealous, positive thinking personality. He's always looking up. Eyebrows are always raised excitedly. Usual a big smile on its face, and and so that's what I try to capture. I think at this point I think I had to step away for something, so I'll just filibuster, but so that I can fill the time when I come back. But even though I keep it simplified, I still have like the dialogue and the dialogue balloon on a separate layer. The layers are minimal. It's just really, I think it's just inks, dialogue, and I think just that. I think I have a sketch layer down there also, but like I said, I don't. That's just one less step for me to have to deal with, and so. But I have my signature, the basic stuff. Signature, of course, on a different layer. The script is on a different layer. And that's it. And then all the other layers are my date and, created by Michelle Lully and the Random Shapes logo. So, man, I don't know how long I stepped away from. Okay, here we go. I was about to just do like a hard cut. But yeah, so I'll go back, just make sure that I am writing the dialogue as it should be. And then sometimes I'll change it up on the fly. And that's the same with all of my comics. Even the longer form graphic novels, I should say novel that I'm working on. Even though I've put in hours of time writing the plot and writing the story. And if you hear anything else, I am recording this at night, and so you may hear some ambient noises in the background beside the ceiling fan and floor fan. What I was saying. So yeah, so sometimes I will change it up, so just so that it flows, because when writing the script, I tend to do that, but when it comes to when I'm drawing and creating the scene, I'll read it again, and if I have to convince myself that that song's just about right, then I know that I need to make some adjustments, so that it flows better. Ensure that the text, not the text, the tenses are the same, and so I'm not speaking writing something in present tense, and then the next line is past tense, or just so that everything works together. So you can see I've circled August, like I said before, so I'm changing that to November. Cirque's line will be changed also from here. It's not even fall yet because even at this time that I drew this, it was very late October, so we already hit fall, and I was trying to think of, oh, it just turned fall, or I don't even remember what I finally decided upon, but we'll see this together. Yeah, it's not even okay, Thanksgiving yet, so that's what I did. Uh, and I figured, okay, that still hits the same essence of um, just stores having such early merchandising for these holiday seasons. Because even like Halloween was, I mean, there was like Halloween decorations in September. And so, and hey, man, it must work because if they're doing it, it's something that must be effective. So yeah, so Try is, like I said, the just the over the top happy go lucky personality. Square is gonna come in and sort of like bring him back down to earth, so to speak. And so yeah, so I do enjoy creating these characters. Um, it's For me, it's a refreshing exercise in um, simplicity and challenging myself to be expressive in a very marginal economic way. First, it's just shapes that I'm dealing with, and so there's only so much I can do, and it is a 2D thing. I'm not like doing like a 3D modeling and all that stuff. Um, so so it calls for me to be decisive, and I don't have an issue with being decisive, but it just calls for me to be very determined and what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, it forces my hand to be as precise as I can be, and to simply stick with it. And so, because I do have a tendency to try to perfect, whether it's a line, I'm sure most, if not every, artist struggles with this to some degree. And but this, I'm trying to be careful. It's not that I wanted the freedom to be sloppy, but I wanted the freedom to be free flowing, you know, and even the concepts of random shapes. I just wanted it to be a just off the wall, spontaneous, um, organic thing. Just something where um, something that anyone can relate to, and the hope is to get a chuckle when just trying to either put in like some satire, or uh, or a comical. Well, that's satire. I was about to explain satire. Um, uh, yeah, just something to bring a different, lighthearted perspective, and then things that may be more serious, focused, and grounded. But the whole thing is it's in the title, random shapes, and and just having these standard shapes that we we've all grown up with, learning tactile lessons of matching shapes in their places and such. But the random shapes was inspired by putting these common shapes together and having random uh, topics and conversations, and so random shapes. And shapes that, I mean, we have so many different types of shapes, right? You get pentagon, you have your hexagon, you have your rectangle, um, uh, your different types of triangles, um, so but I wanted to keep the basic shapes and just make their interactions as random as possible. Uh, so now I'm trying to get back into writing my scripts first and then doing the artwork. And that way it helps me to maintain a certain level of structure. Because trying to save time, I would just do the scripts on fly while if I'm creating a page, then that's when I want to write the script. And, and sometimes that's not really difficult, particularly if it's if you look at, excuse me, my, uh, janitorial services series. So there are some one-off random episodes in that series. I think I'm working on episode 77, and that's been delayed somewhat because I've been just making other videos in between that fact, and so I need to get to that. I'm in the final stages of adding highlights and shadows to the color. Um, and now that it's two panels, um, that takes up a certain amount of time. But it also allows me to produce more content for that series than sticking to a single panel. And I think I explained this in one of my previous videos concerning that. And there may be, because I'm thinking of having that be a dynamic panel series, where right now it's two, but depending on the the script, it may go back to one, or I may need to squeeze an additional panel where it's not two, and then it's three. So I'm keeping that as a very dynamic panel layout for janitorial services, so that way I don't confine myself too much. Uh, but there's still some guardrails, so I'm not just um, just free balling it like try here. So right now I'm going into circle, and I kind of talked over the square, but square is usually just straight lipped uh, expression. Brows are usually down. I'm sorry that I overlooked that. I got um, um, sidetracked. So circle. I used to uh, struggle with. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get the circle as even as possible. And I want to say by like the 12th episode, 12 or 15, I was like, dude, just make it just make it circular. Once it has that basic circle shape, then there's no need for me to have like a perfect um, um, you know, cylinder um, shape. And so, and that's freed me up too as well. Where I'm like, hey, it's a circle. It's not oblong. It's not oval. It's circular. So that should work. And as I said, circle is the objective optimus, and so a real balance between try and square. So his responses is usually uh, what can I say? Magnanimous, where he's like, okay, he'll see the good in things and see more of the positive side of things. Of course, being the optimist that Cirque is, and so even if there's any like pushback, it's constructive criticism, as opposed to square where it's just down the middle. Um, as I mentioned before, just matter of fact. Uh, if a square was asked, "Hey, man, uh, does this shirt make me look fat?" And he'll be like, "Yes." It's not like, oh, just a little, no, he'll be like, "Yes, it does." So no, not the uh, sensitive, tactful type. Uh, and and with this, as I create these, I usually go back. I put the dialogue balloon. I I I used to just do the shapes and then put in the dialogue balloon. I just find that as I move from panel, inner panel to inner panel, it made for a more cohesive flow for me, even in my constructing of each character. It just sort of reinforced, okay, where is this conversation going, you know? And that aided me so I could see the lines of the previous character and see how, oh, that will then should affect the expression of the next panel. And here I'm just using the tool. Like I said, this is so free flowing, but I still want there to be some structural form and quality. So I'll use that tool to reshape the dialogue outline box. Um, and then occasionally, if I need to readjust the dialogue, like the size, to make sure that it fits, that it's easy on the eye to read, and it's not like, hey, what is that saying? Or does the year come first, or does Thanksgiving? Just to make sure that it reads easy and cohesively. Uh, so I think this year I'm going to center this some more, just so that it's just more aesthetically pleasing for my site. You know what I mean? And I read and I have read so many different like graphic novels, and there's some where I'm like, oh, I mean, usually the lettering, I should say, is always on point. Um, and and lettering has never been my strong point, particularly if I'm just physically writing the letter. Of course, I think with do I write the letter for the lettering for janitorial services? I think I do. I think I do. I think I toyed around with. There are some episodes where I just use the font, and I don't think I really like that particular font I use. Um, but it is another step, where you have to, I have to select the font. That's a different layer. Um, I mean, it's really not that much more involved. I just feel more organically when I just write the dialogue. It just flows. Now with Love Summer, the dialogue was completely typed out. I just wanted it to have a very, I've been saying this word a lot, but a very consistent, cohesive look. So I was like, I don't want, oh, just looks this way, one page and then another page. I purposely, I just wanted a very unified, cohesive lettering look for that series. And that has been on the back burner for years now, unfortunately. Doing these shorter series panels allows me to pump out my work a lot faster than working on page by page of Love Summer. And that pains me to some degree because I'm like, oh, that, you know, I want to tell that story. And that's a story that's a part of like a 4 volume series. And and I really need to just make some cliff notes because even in this moment, I'm like, okay, what are the 3 other volumes? I do know them, but I'm trying to think of their anchoring points, and the mere fact that I have to really think through. I'm like, ooh, I need to write down those anchoring points so I don't forget um, the other 3 books I want to do to connect with the 4 novel series. And so, with Love Summer being the first book that I'm working on, and so that's an undertaking, and that's even now I think of that series, and I'm thinking of I think I was up to maybe 7, 8 pages, and I'm thinking of just redoing it, and because as much as I really enjoy the art style, I want to I don't know, I felt like I was trying so hard with it, and then there was times where I compromised on some of the panels where I'm like, oh, I really don't like how it turned out, and I'm like, no, I just need. So there's just a lot of mixed feelings with that series, the way I drew it, that I'm just not. It's not pulling me in the way I have the script written, and so the artwork is not complementing the script, and I wanted to, you know I'm at a point where I needed to follow through with the script, because otherwise I just feel like it'll just be fraudulent. I'll just be pumping it out to pump it out, and it comes to a point where you just got to put it out. But if I'm not confident with the artwork as much as I am with the script, then I'm disjointed with that. So now we're back with Try, and um, and so like I said, Try is just super positive. So even if his initial um, enthusiasm may be knocked or checked, he'll Try will continue to maintain that energy. Um, so here again, I try to maintain a level of can I say class? I guess I could say class. Where although it is free flowing, I still want it to look aesthetically pleasing to those who are looking upon it. I will reposition the angles of each shape to, and again, that's why it helps me where it's very rudimentary and simplistic, but it forces me to get creative with, oh, you know what, so instead of now the pointy end of Try being more upward and extremely jovial, now it's more centered, and he is looking forward now than upward bound. um but certain cues like the wide eye is still there. The placement of the pupils are where they are. He still maintains his big smile, and so he's just not easily shaken. He will, at his core, he's jovial, and he'll maintain that, even despite if he is objectively misplacing his positive energy. He'll maintain that positive energy, and that's something I try to maintain. And in each character's depiction, Square will. I don't think I've had Square smile once. I think it's usually been, very sort of nonchalant, stoic, and then some angry, just to flow with his personality. And like I said, Circle is the I guess the happy medium, so to speak. So it's been a while doing random shapes, and there've been times when I've done like 2 panels in one sitting, and especially if I have the script flowing. So this is kind of a sort of like a one hit conversation piece. I may do something for Thanksgiving or maybe Christmas, but there have been others where it was like a 3-panel conversation series, and so but I missed this episode 48. It's been such a long time. Like I said, it's been months since I have did episode 47, and I thought I would certainly do one in a full setting, not speed up the video. I'll see how this video does on YouTube. Hopefully my monotone voice didn't put you to sleep. But if it did, and you were like laying down and wanting to find something to fall asleep to, then I achieved my goal. But if you're still awake and listening and following, totally appreciate that. You are a trooper for enduring, and appreciate a like, a comment if you want, particularly if you want to see more of these long form commentary videos. And if you don't, let me know so you can see there. So that was the 26th of October. And so, like I said, now I am doing the editing, the commentary overlay on the 4th. So yeah, so that's a good week and a few days in between. So yeah, man. So I just appreciate those who do watch, and even those who watch and don't leave a comment. That's great. But if you are watching, just hit the like. That will help a lot with my very small channel. And like I said, be sure to check out my Patreon page if you want to support what I do. It's patreon.com/MichelOLully. And then you can also go to my website. It's michelolully.com or micheloartworkstudio.com. And there you get an archive of all of my most of my artwork. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you have a great night, day, afternoon. Grace and peace.